presented by the 2018 Honda Civic Type R, like no Honda you've ever seen.
Welcome to Rogers Center. It's a beautiful Sunday afternoon. We wrap up this three-game series with the New York Yankees. This is the rubber match. The Blue Jays won the game on Friday, 6-2. Yankees won yesterday. Aaron Boone's Yankees trying to win the series. They have not won many series here at Rogers Center recently. In fact, the Blue Jays have won the last 3 season series, but that's not the case this year. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Yankees. Brett Gardner, top of the order, then Aaron Judge. Big numbers against the Blue Jays. He had his 6th career home run here at Rogers Center. It was his 14th all-time against the Blue Jays, and right behind him, another terrific power hitter, especially against left-handed pitching. .352 for Giancarlo Stanton with 10 home runs and 20 RBIs. The Yankees are 22-6 when they face a left-handed starter.
And they get one this afternoon in Ryan Borucki. Third big league start this afternoon. He's coming off a no decision against the Tigers. And the thing that was impressive about that, it wasn't the 8 strikeouts and the no walks. We like that. But what happened in the first inning? 4 soft singles after he struck out the first batter of the game. And he only gave up that 1 run in that first inning. He then induced a double play. He then threw some shutout ball until the 6th inning. All told, just 2 runs in the 7 innings against the Tigers. He's going to need a little bit more of that this afternoon.
First time he has faced the New York Yankees. He has certainly had his fair share of tough teams. Houston, Detroit with those power hitters, and now the New York Yankees. Brett Gardner, he hit the first pitch of the ball game yesterday out of the ballpark. Here's the first pitch from Borucki. It's outside for a ball, and we are underway. Gardner, the longest tenured Yankee, he has had a terrific career. 5 of his 6 home runs this season have either tied the game up or given the Yankees the lead.
And he has been a terror against the Blue Jays in his career. Some big numbers against Toronto.
Last 8 games, 5 for 28. The home run he hit yesterday leading off was his 14th career leadoff home run. Boy, he gets jammed on that inside pitch.
It's going to be really interesting to watch as this game unfolds, especially early on. The veteran hitters of the Yankees, their approach against Borucki, first time through. Those last 2 swings, or check swings, if you will, from Gardner, a telling fact that that ball is exploding today.
1-2. Breaking ball popped up, shallow center. Pilar calls for it. He is there, makes the catch. Gardner's retired. The Blue Jays defensively, Pilar's in center, Hernandez in left, and Grichuk in right, and Lourdes Gurriel moves back other side of the bag. He's playing short today.
Yeah, his more natural position at shortstop, his 9th start at short for the Blue Jays, and it'll be fun to watch him play that position. He's athletic. He made a great play yesterday at second base. Today he slides back over to that natural position, and he gets the Yankees.
Judge goes after the first pitch and fouls it back. Aaron Judge hit his 25th home run of the season yesterday. He has homered in 2 of his last 3 and has homered in 6 of his last 10 games. Change up off the plate. Borucki is 24 years old. And a good changeup, and quickly Borucki's ahead, a ball and 2 strikes.
If you've got 3 pitchers that you can throw at any time in the counts and throw it for strikes and make quality strikes, you can get big hitters out. And it's a great test for him this afternoon.
Down and away.
One thing I think he can't do is fall into a pattern. There's some big hitters from the right side. You can't pitch them all the same way.
Up the middle for a base hit. And Judge, a 2-strike base hit to center.
Blue Jays are not going to play the power hitters to pull, meaning putting 3 infielders on the left side of the infield. They play them straight up. Looked like a 2-seam fastball darting away, and Judge, with great plate coverage, takes it back through the middle. But the second baseman, you can see he's basically straight away. And through all the scouting reports that the Blue Jays have on these Yankee hitters, they hit ground balls all over the place.
Giancarlo Stanton goes after the first pitch and pulls it foul.
So they don't just pull everything. They're good hitters. They hit the ball the other way on the ground if you have to.
Stanton was 1 for 3 with a couple of walks in yesterday's game. This is a fly ball to right. It's going to get down for a base hit, go up against the wall. Judge is headed for third. They'll get to back in as Stanton. It's an opposite field double. His 17th double of the season. Second and third, one out for New York.
Tremendous power from both Judge and Stanton, and you can't pitch them one way. They can go the other way. That's a pretty decent pitch that catches the middle of the plate, but it's down. Stanton's been letting the ball get a little bit deeper lately. The batting average is going up, and this time he uses the whole field. Right down the right field line for extra bases.
Miguel Andujar, a very aggressive swinger, and they start him off with a changeup. Andujar struck out in each of his first 2 at-bats yesterday against Jay Happ. He doubled and scored in the 9th. He scored the 8th Yankee run yesterday.
Coming off a big June for the Yankees.
Ground ball, that'll score a run. Travis to his left. Andujar drives home Aaron Judge, and the Yankees have a 1-0 lead.
He was named the Rookie of the Month for June, and he's going to get his share of RBI opportunities hitting the middle of this lineup. Does a good job there of staying on that one, just keeping it in the middle of the diamond to pick up the RBI.
Judge got the 2-strike single and comes around to score the first run of the game. Now there are 2 outs. Didi Gregorius. Gregorius has been a very good run producer for the Yankees since coming to New York. Popped this one up. Russell Martin clips the mask off, dealing with a bright sun, and he's able to make the catch. Russell battling that bright sun, got the glove on the ball and bounced out of his glove, and he was able to pin it against his body for the final out. That's what he's looking into as he made that terrific catch. That ends the inning. Catchers don't have the luxury of wearing sunglasses, so Russell's got to deal with the bright sun. Catches it for a second time to end the inning. Something early on as you look at the lineup for John Gibbons Blue Jays. The Jays are 6 games under 500. Justin Smoke has enjoyed his time hitting against the Yankees this season. He's hitting .341 with 5 doubles and 3 home runs. He's also driven in 11, and then Kendrys Morales in his last 25 games, that batting average is up to .325 during that stretch. 11 extra base hits and 9 RBIs. He's the DH hitting cleanup this afternoon.
They will face Domingo Germán. His 11th start of the season, 17th appearance, a no decision last time out. That was against Atlanta. His first career win was on June the 14th versus Tampa. He had 10 strikeouts in that first game. A couple appearances against the Blue Jays out of relief. Not very good, 0-2.
Teoscar Hernandez goes after the first pitch, and the infielder's dealing with that bright sun. It's Greg Bird, the first baseman, who makes the catch. Take a look at the rest of the defense. The Yankees have committed 47 errors, and they've got a fine rookie at third base in Miguel Andujar.
Yeah, and he's getting better and better, I think, with each week that he spends in the big leagues. Miguel Andujar, he's the third baseman. He's made 5 errors, but he's getting better with his throws. He wants to improve. At times, his footwork gets a little wacky, and that doesn't get his arm in a good position to throw, but he is a good one. He's going to be there a long time. Very athletic type of player.
Fastball down and away for ball 1. And there is Solarte hitting second this afternoon. It's the 11th time Solarte has batted 2 in the order. And John Gibbons just mixing it up from time to time, trying to come up with a combination that can score some runs.
Well, there's no question that Domingo Germán has good stuff. He might have been forced into the big leagues because of the injuries that have happened to the starting rotation. Originally, he was a throw-in from the Miami Marlins with Nathan Eovaldi. Yankees do such a good job of scouting other organizations, finding younger players in other organizations, and then cultivating them in their farm system. He's basically fastball, curveball, changeup. The fastball's got to be a strike for him to be effective.
Broken bat up the middle. Gregorius from behind the bag throws Solarte out. 2 quick outs here in the first.
He's had a couple of starts, Germán, this year where the fastball wasn't working, the command, so he tried to overdo that, and the harder he tried, the worse. He couldn't find the strike zone. Then one start he didn't have his breaking ball. But when they're both working, he can be very tough.
They were working against Tampa Bay in that start you mentioned, his first big league win. He had 10 strikeouts and he had 26 swinging strikes. And that is a big number where he induces a lot of swings. Dustin Smoke, get up, ball, get up, ball, get up, ball, get out of here. God! No, it's off the wall. Stanton played it as if he thought it was way out of here. That ball died and hit the top of the fence and stayed in the ballpark.
Buck, I thought that ball was in the stands. I thought it looked like it was going over the bullpen of the Yankees. Stanton, the right fielder, thought the same thing. First pitch swinging Smoke, and he gets all of it. Watch Stanton go back. He gives up on, he jumps, and somehow that ball came back in.
If he is 5 feet to his left, he's got a shot to catch it. Watch where that ball hit. So he was probably dealing with the sun as well. Took a look up into that bright sun and lost the baseball. So Smokes at second with a 2-out double. Morales goes after the first pitch, and Andujar in foul territory, and he won't get there.
Stan's about 6'5", so he can go up over the wall. This ball must have moved on him. He goes back. He's right there in front of that sign. He jumps, and it's about, like you said, 5 feet to his right. Stays with it. That ball, the wind must be swirling out there because it must have knocked it down in right center field.
Stanton certainly thought it was out of the ballpark and then misplayed it when it was off the wall. So Morales now behind 0-1. Now it's 0-2. As Pat mentioned, Germán has made just 2 appearances against the Blue Jays. They were both in relief. One last year, his last appearance of the season, and he picked up a loss in that game, and he's made a relief appearance this year. He's 0-2.
Yeah, he's only thrown 3 1/3 innings, given up 3 earned runs. This is his first start against the Blue Jays.
Off-speed pitch, and Morales strikes out. The 2-out double is stranded on base. Played an inning here at Rogers Center. The Yankees have a 1-0 lead.
a Chicago White Sox fan idolizing veteran left-hander and former Blue Jay Mark Buehrle. Borucki admits the two aren't exactly the same type of pitcher, but what he admires most about Buehrle is that he knew he didn't have electric stuff like most guys, but he made the most of what he had. That's what Borucki feels like he tries to do with his game, and in that sense, he believes the two are very similar. Like Buehrle, Borucki said he likes to attack the zone, throw strikes, and use all of his pitches. Quote, hopefully I can live up to what he's done. If I can have a career like that guy, I know I'm doing something right. Manager John Gibbons was asked to compare Borucki to his mentor, Buck. Gibbons said Borucki is much slimmer on the mound and probably doesn't drink as much beer as Buehrle.
That's a very good assessment and very Gibby-esque, if you will. And if he turns out to pitch 16 years like Mark Buehrle, everybody will be thrilled. Buehrle won 214 games in a very good career.
Yeah, 200 innings. Mark it up. Buehrle was going to do that. Right, he throws a little bit harder, but his stuff looks the same.
But Frazier, 2 balls and no strike to the rookie left fielder. Frazier came into the game as a defensive replacement yesterday in the 5th inning. Center fielder Aaron Hicks left that ball game with a leg cramp, so Frazier was pressed into action. He was 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Fly ball to center field. Pilar just short of the warning track, hauls it in. 1 out for Ryan Borucki.
Let's take a look at the scouting report for the young left-hander. He's basically a 3-pitch pitcher. It's fastball, changeup, slider. Now that slider can change shape because he throws it a little bit slower at times early in the count just to get a strikeout, get a strike. When he needs a strikeout, he can throw it just a little bit harder. What was impressive in that last start was his slider strike percentage was much better with the off-speed pitch against the Tigers.
Brandon Drury takes one inside. Drury had a big hit in the 1st inning yesterday. He had a 2-run double to cap off a 4-run New York 1st inning. Up the middle again and past the diving second baseman Devin Travis. And Drury gets a base hit in his 1st at bat.
That was a changeup. That was going to go down and away. Right after the fastball, they follow it up with a changeup down and away. That's just a little bit too much of the plate. Right-handed batters, they've had a chance now. 2 starts for Borucki to scout him. It's like the Yankees have a pretty good idea of what he's going to do.
That being said, I'm still a little surprised at how aggressive the Yankee hitters have been. They've gone up there hacking against him, and generally they're a team that'll work the count. They had 10 walks yesterday. This is the first baseman, Greg Bird. Bird hitting under 200. That's a broken bat. That's going to drop in front of Pilar, and he plays it on a hop. He drops it, but Drury will stop at second. Well, that one was off the end of the bat.
Yeah, that was the 1st inning we were talking about last inning against the Tigers, where he gave up 4 very soft singles, but pitched around it, got the big double play that he needed. Bird muscles that ball into center field. Great job by Pilar to come in hard and then smother the ball. Remember yesterday a ball bounced over his head on the turf for a 2-run double.
That was Drury's double in the 1st inning. Here's the catcher, Austin Romine. He went around. Crew chief down at first is Bill Welke. Calls him for the swing. Romine's had a good season offensively. He's got 4 homers and 20 RBIs and 99 at bats.
Yankees have gotten a lot of production from their catching this season.
Strike 2.
Gary Sanchez has 14 home runs. He's on the disabled list. He's their #1 catcher.
Sanchez has driven in 44. There's 64 RBIs between Sanchez and Romine. And then Higashioka has 4 RBIs as well.
And 3 home runs.
There's strike 3 called to Romine. And the bat on his shoulder, and Borucki gets his first strikeout of the ball game.
Yeah, if you catch them looking for that changeup or that off-speed pitch, you're going to have to read their bats today. Blue Jays reading the bats. That pitch is right down the middle.
Dane Johnson had a pretty good idea of what Borucki needed to do today.
Yeah, Dane was saying a young player facing a veteran team, he's got to stay one step ahead of the Yankees. If he reads that they're looking for the off-speed pitch, you got to use your fastball and vice versa.
Brett Gardner takes one down the stairs.
You know, that's where Russell Martin can really help him out. Dane was saying, you know, staying a step ahead is not overthinking, but thinking, getting into the minds of the Yankees and seeing what their approach is at the plate. Russell's sitting right there. He can be a big help for Borucki this afternoon.
2 outs, 2 on. Yankees have a 1-0 lead. Gardner takes his strike. They mentioned Brett Gardner is the most tenured Yankee on this ball club. He's one of 5 Yankees originally drafted by the club to collect at least 1,000 hits. It doesn't sound like that's many, but when you think about it, the draft began in '67. But there have just been 5 drafted Yankees with 1,000 hits or more. Over the glove of the pitcher, but Gurriel is there to step on the bag. That ends the inning. A couple of singles are stranded on base. We'll go to the bottom of the second. New York with a 1-0 lead.
Inside the TD Zone are guests from one of TD's community partners. And be sure to check out the strongest, toughest, and biggest superstars in sports entertainment. WWE Monday Night Raw tomorrow at Sportsnet 360 and Sportsnet Now. Buck.
Thank you very much, Hazel. What a beautiful afternoon it is. This is the final game of this homestand. The Blue Jays will have tomorrow off, and they'll resume play on Tuesday night against the Atlanta Braves. 2-game series in Atlanta before they head to Boston to wrap up the first half. Kevin Pillar falls behind quickly, 0-2. Pillar batting .246 for the season. Breaking ball hit on the ground toward the second baseman Drury. One away.
Good job by Romine, the catcher, to accentuate where he wanted that 0-2 curveball out of the strike zone. Let's try to expand it a little bit. After he got that sign, he was pointing to the ground and telling Herman, hey, give it to me down here, right down there, and he obliges. That's how you expand the strike zone with 2 strikes and get an out.
You have to really give those signs with conviction, and that's what Romine does. Because obviously everybody in the ballpark sees you doing it, but you put your judgment on the line. This is where I want it. Trust me. Throw it here.
And I think when you've got somebody down 0-2, Don't use it as a waste pitch.
Martin hits it on the ground to Andujar. 2 ground ball outs here.
You are in the driver's seat. Make that good pitch with the curveball. The hitter will swing at it. If you just waste it and bounce it up there, he'll see that right out of the hand, and he's 1 pitch away of getting back into the count. Made a good pitch with that 0-2 pitch.
All right, every pitch should have a purpose. Try to get the hitters out when you have them most vulnerable at 0-2.
That's right.
Here's Randall Grichuk. Randall homered in yesterday's game. Hit a hanging slider off of Luis Severino. Severino gave up 2 home runs early in the game, a 2-run shot to Pilar and a solo home run to Grichuk.
Yankees are playing them to pull after those big hits. Grichuk, there's the shift. Statcast powered by AWS. We don't see too many teams shift on Randall Grichuk.
No, they sure haven't. But the Yankees, they might have the most extensive analytical department in all of baseball. Breaking ball just missed. 3-1 now to Randall Grichuk. He's batting 7th in the lineup. They got a good fastball right on the outside half. 3-2 now. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. waits on deck if Grichuk can keep the inning alive. He can't and strikes out. 3 up, 3 down. The Blue Jays go down in order in the second. When we come back to start the third, Aaron Judge will lead things off. Then Giancarlo Stanton, the 2 big bats for the Yankees to face Borucki. And then Giancarlo Stanton, and you talk about back-to-back power. Most home runs in the majors the last 2 seasons. Stanton has 80. Judge has 77. J.D. Martinez with the Boston Red Sox has 72. But they can really put a charge into baseball, as we have seen firsthand here at Rogers Center.
You know, what's impressive about these guys is they're not just swing for the fences and that's it. Yeah, they'll have their share of strikeouts, but they'll take their walks, and their batting averages are very respectable. You know, it's not like a hitter's hitting 200 or under 200 with the home runs and the strikeouts. It's a respectable batting average.
Well, and they're really similar in that they're both power hitters, but they really are close. They work well together. And Judge and Stanton talking about Borucki, you can see as he warms up, they're both really locked in on the left-hander. Fly ball. Right center. Grichuk over into the alley. He makes the catch. Judge's retime.
I love that when hitters stand on the on-deck circle. Hey, what did you see last time? Well, this is what I saw. Did you see anything that he was tipping? Did you pick up his breaking ball? You know, those kind of things. It's the first time the Yankees are taking a look at Ryan Borucki.
It's really interesting. Obviously, they both have power, but they hit from totally opposite stances to begin with. You can see Stanton is extremely closed in his stance. It's really kind of an old-fashioned batting stance. You don't see it a lot anymore, but he's so quick with his hands and he's so strong he can hit from that closed stance.
Yeah, it's hard for some people to get the bat head through. Your hips lock up when you close off your swing like that, but he has the ability to do it, and he can hit the ball a long way the other way.
2 balls and a strike to Stanton. Stanton's one of just 2 players to hit 20 or more home runs in each of his last 9 seasons. You know the other, I'm sure.
Albert Pujols.
Nelson Cruz.
Nelson Cruz.
Yeah. Pujols has had some injuries which limited his
that's right.
at-bats.
That's true.
There's a liner into left field. One hop right to Hernandez.
The diverse Civic family, our most powerful lineup yet. Honda, proud fan since 1977 and the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
What a beautiful day it is here in southern Ontario as Giancarlo Stanton has his second hit of the ball game.
You know who he reminds me of when he hits the ball, especially the way that he just hit it, Stanton? He reminds me of Dave Winfield. Remember having to pitch to Winfield when he was in his prime over here in the American League for the Yankees? He would hit line drives that would create so much backspin and just line out of the ballpark.
That's a great call. That last line drive came off the bat at 120 miles an hour. There's a drive to left field. Hernandez back in the edge of the warning track, and he makes the catch, and Duhar got a little bit jammed on that. Didn't really get full extension. 2 down now here in the 3rd. But that Winfield comparison is a very good one. Big, tall guy, long arms, great extension, and they put a lot of backspin on that baseball.
I saw Dave Winfield hit a line drive at the shortstop in Yankee Stadium. Remember old Yankee Stadium? What was it to left field? 430 feet. It was a line drive like right over the shortstop's head. And he created so much backspin on it, it went zoop, and then out of the ballpark, left center field. No lie.
Yep.
Couldn't believe it when I saw it.
Those big guys that are 6'6", 6'7" can really put a lot of backspin on the baseball. Creates that great carry. Didi Gregorius gets jammed. It's a ball and a strike to the Yankees shortstop. Another guy that reminds me of both Stanton and Judge is the great Frank Howard. When Hondo hit him, they were hit. And there were infielders that were saying, please don't hit it at me.
Infielders who were playing in the outfield.
Inside corner for strike 2. Aaron Boone in his first season as the manager. He's part of one of 3 father-son duos that have managed in the major leagues. The Skinners, the Sislers, and the Boones. Aaron Boone's also part of a 3-generation major league family. Ray Boone, his grandfather, longtime big leaguer, and then of course his father, Bob.
Let's don't forget his brother.
Brother Brett was a heck of a player.
He was a
too.
pretty good player.
You can imagine the holiday dinners around the Thanksgiving table and the baseball conversations that go on.
You think it was all about baseball? Absolutely. He also had a younger brother, Matt Boone, who played in the Detroit Tigers organization. He was drafted there. 3 Boone boys playing professional baseball.
Aaron is the 18th manager that has also played for the Yankees. That's a big number, isn't it?
18. He was a bat boy for the Royals when he was 16 years old. When I played for the Royals with his father, he would be the bat boy. And here he is managing the Yankees.
Managing the Yankees, I know. I think he pinches himself from time to time. Wouldn't you think about that? 2-2, 2 away. Stands at first. Pulled foul. Well, what a beautiful afternoon it is. 23 degrees. The roof is wide open. The sky, not a cloud in the sky. And he fights it off. Rocky's making some good pitches to the Yankees shortstop.
He hasn't been intimidated. I'll tell you that. Watching him now for his first 3 major league starts against some pretty good hitting teams, he hasn't been intimidated.
Bounced foul just outside of first.
When he pitched against the Tigers and no walks, 8 strikeouts, 7 innings, just 2 runs given up against the Tigers came into that game with the highest batting average in the American League against left-handed pitching. So their 1-loss record might not be that good, but their attack against lefties have been good, and he made them look pretty good. He was pretty good against them.
Yeah, he did a great job. He could have been out of that ball game early, as you mentioned. He had 4 straight singles in the first inning, but then got the 1-2-3 double play to minimize the damage. But right now he's got his hands full with Didi Gregorius. 6 foul balls in this at bat. Breaking ball looped into right. Gritchick coming in quickly. He'll get there in time to make the catch. Ryan Borucki leaves another Yankee base runner on board. We're going to the bottom of the 3rd. The Blue Jays trail by a run.
They salute the Canadian Armed Forces, and today they honor Lieutenant Commander Derek Merlo. He served for 27 years as a finance clerk and logistics officer in the Royal Canadian Navy. Lieutenant Commander Derek Merlo, today's Sunday salute.
In Ottawa. Baseball fans,
Marco Estrada
Commander
always out there
Derek
to
Merlo.
participate in these Sunday salutes. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. batting .227 for the season. He had a single in yesterday's game. Change up in there for a strike. Gurriel had a hit against Herman in his only at bat. That was earlier in the season. And Herman came in relief.
Another changeup down and away. I am not looking at Gurriel and saying, oh, okay, he's hitting this batting average. He's got this many home runs. I'm watching the at bat. What does his at bats look like? Right now, look pretty good. He's gotten to account 3-1. He's learning, I think, daily on how to hit major league pitching. And he got his 3-1 fastball.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you just have to watch the process. He looks like a big leaguer at the plate. Looks like he has a plan. He never really gives in. He's never overmatched. He's trying to start the inning with Travis on deck behind him. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Breaking ball hit high in the air to left. Frazier coming over right at the warning track. He makes the catch. One away.
Take on any project with Home Hardware, proud partner of the Toronto Blue Jays. Here's how.
Lots going on around Rogers Center here on this Sunday afternoon. Of course, the aquarium is right next door. CN Tower, also a great tourist attraction. Devin Travis jumps back from an inside heater. Devin's batting .232, 5 doubles and 5 home runs. Fouls it back. Herman moved into the rotation after Jordan Montgomery was injured, placed on a DL, and he subsequently went under Tommy John surgery. Montgomery made his last start on the 1st of May, and Herman then took his spot on the 6th of May. Moved right into the rotation. He's working on an extra day's rest here this afternoon. 5 days rest. Got no decision Monday against the Braves. He strikes out Travis.
He's been around the plate. That's what has been impressive so far. Last time against Atlanta, his last time out, 4 1/3 innings, 6 hits. He also had 3 walks. That's a two-seamer right under the bat of Devin Travis for his 3rd strikeout.
First pitch breaking ball. Boy, I like the tempo that Herman has set here in this ballgame. He's standing on a rubber, waiting for the sign, anxious to deliver the next pitch. Base hit to left field. Hernandez hustling up toward first. Big turn, but he'll stop there. A 2-out single for the leadoff man.
Looked like a changeup from Herman. Teoscar hit the first pitch he saw, his first at bat, and popped up. Now he wanted to look at some of the off-speed pitches. There's the changeup that floats right where he likes it, up and out over the plate. If he gets that ball airborne, it's a home run. He just got her out in front of it and created too much topspin.
2 outs for Yannier Solarte. Swings at the first pitch, and it's a routine fly ball to center. Gardner makes the catch. That'll end the inning, so the Blue Jays get a 2-out single, leave a base runner. After 3, 1-0 New York.
Beautiful landscapes you'll see. The Tour de France on till July 29th on Sportsnet 1. Bullpen coach Dane Johnson spent time with Borucki, overseeing his early development as the club's minor league pitching coordinator. He told me he's always known Borucki to be a highly competitive guy in whatever he did. He likes challenges, doesn't like to be told he can't do something as it relates to pitching. He's extremely concentrated on the task at hand, paid a lot of attention to detail, Buck, and always had a clear picture of what he needed to do in order to have success. Borucki's performance over the last 2 starts at this level does not surprise Johnson in the very least.
Now, a lot of the minor league coaches and managers have really been impressed by Borucki and his makeup. Of course, Ryan's father, Ray Borucki, played in the minor leagues, so he's kind of been exposed to this mindset his whole life. This is Clint Frazier. Frazier, part of a very deep core of young players the Yankees have put together. They made some powerful trades and traded Andrew Miller to Cleveland, got Clint Frazier part of that package. Of course, the trade they made with the Cubs for Aroldis Chapman got them Gleyber Torres.
Young, athletic, controllable players that you can mix in with your veterans. There are his numbers in the minor leagues this season. He's been back and forth a couple of times with the big league team. He's got bat speed. I think that's where he creates a lot of those home runs with that type of bat speed. He just needs a chance to play now.
If he were with 15, maybe 20 of the other major league teams, he'd be starting every day in the outfield. But just because the Yankees are so loaded with talent, especially in the outfield, it's hard for him to get a lot of regular playing time. 3-2 pitch, ball 4. That's the first walk issued by Borucki. It comes here leading off the 4th inning. We mentioned this in the first 3 games of this Yankees series. You really got to manage the bottom part of the order. Make sure you don't give those guys extra opportunities, because each time you do, you get closer to the big bats top of the order.
Yeah, that's why they've got Aaron Judge hitting the number 2 hole. Those guys at the bottom of the lineup, they get on. You turn it, you flip it over. Now you got those home run hitters hitting with runners on base. Never a good thing.
Brandon Drury had a base hit to center field his first time up. Again, a pitch that looks like it's a strike, not called a strike. It's 2-0. Ground ball. This should be 2. Gurriel to Travis, back to first. It is a double play. 2 quick outs for Borucki.
Super Slow-Mo Cam. Brought to you by Samsung Galaxy S9 and S9 Plus. The camera reimagined. Available now.
Borucki gets the double play off the bat of Brandon Drury. 2 outs, nobody on for Greg Bird.
Double play was a big part of that first inning in his last start. He had a comeback or a 1-2-3 double play. That's what it looks like he has the ability to do, a lot like his idol Mark Buehrle. Fastball count 2-0 to a pretty good hitter. You just turn the fastball over. You don't throw it as hard. You get it off the bat, the end of the bat, and it's a ground ball. Mark Buehrle was a master at that.
The thing you have to do in these situations, and we've seen that from Borucki so far, is to separate the last at bat and focus on the current at bat. He does that very well.
You know what? It takes a lot of courage and it takes a lot of confidence to be able to say, okay, I'm down 2-0. I'm going to take a little something off the pitch here. It's called a BP fastball. And it takes a lot of courage to throw it, because your first instinct's what? To reach back and try and throw it as hard as you can. Oh man, I got to get back into the count. I got to throw this one through the hitter. You can see some maturation there, just taking a little something off, and he's rewarded with a double play.
Breaking ball hit to Smoke. He'll go to the bag himself, and Borucki gets a double play and an easy ground out to end top half of the fourth. And Borucki has settled in here. Just missed hitting a home run his first time up. That went off the top of the wall in right for his 23rd double of the season. And things are starting to turn around for Justin Smoke here in the middle of the season.
He's talked about, I got to get myself ready to hit. There was some indecision, I think, for a while there. They weren't really pitching to him. They seemed to be pitching around him, so that created some indecision when he said, you know what, I'm going to go up there and I'm going to be aggressive. His last 17 games, he's hit just under 300, and the slugging is starting to come back. That's what you want to see, more home runs from Smoke, and he has done that. He's hit 7 home runs this year with 2 strikes.
Takes the first pitch outside from Domingo Germán. Smoke had 68 extra base hits last year. 29 doubles, 1 triple in those 38 home runs. He's got 35 extra base hits this season. We're just past the halfway mark. He's worn out the Yankees so far this season.
When he rocks back and he tucks that front shoulder, you know he's ready to do some special things, especially from the left side. Watch how that shoulder tucks, and he's on those pitches.
2-2 now. Smoke has 67 hits. 35 of those have gone for extra bases. That's what he's supposed to do.
Yeah, that's what you want from your first baseman. You want some power and production, and he's got a great glove.
Ripped into right field. They tried to sneak a heater by him, and he was all over it. Smokey's 2 for 2.
You know, I was just talking about how he rocks back and then he closes that front shoulder, closes it up, tucks it. It helps him to stay on the baseball. Watch how it's so compact. Front shoulder then clears, head down. That ball is ripped down the right field line. Last time up, he hit a ball that looked like it was going to go out. It ended up being a double off the top of the wall.
Kendrys Morales struck out on a breaking ball his first time up. Downstairs. 2-0. You would expect that the Yankees are going to throw him an off-speed pitch because he is such a good fastball hitter.
I think you got to get geared up for that fastball.
Got the fastball a little bit up, and he fouls it back. Been a good run for Kendrick over about the last month, hitting .325 with 6 doubles and 5 homers. There's the off-speed pitch.
Yeah, the slow off-speed pitch at times will give Kendrick some problems. They like to change speeds with it, throw it out of the strike zone. He's got to be patient, make sure it's a strike. On a nice little run right now, driving the ball all over the place.
Fly ball into center. Gardner a little bit to his right. He makes the catch as Morales is retired on the fly ball. So 1 out now for Kevin Pillar. Pillar grounded out on a slider, grounded out to second back in the second inning. Bounced foul just outside the bag at third. Of course, Smoke continues to wear out the Yankees this year, doesn't he? 2 more hits this afternoon. Smokey had 2 hits yesterday and 2 hits on Friday, including a 3-run home run.
He's liking what he's seen from Yankee pitchers.
96 with wicked movement.
He's reached base safely in now all 11 games against the Yankees this season. Now got to get him up there with some runners on base.
Fly ball into center. Gardner coming in. He'll get there to make the catch. Now after a Smoke led off with a single, Morales flies out, as does Pillar, both the center. Russell Martin spent 2 years with the Yankees, but he is not familiar with their starter today, Domingo Germán. He grounded out in his only time up.
Got to figure he's going to work him over. Russell's got one of the highest walk percentages in baseball. He will not offer at that ball off the plate, especially early in the count.
Ball and a strike now. Justin Smoke, he's not a threat to run.
He's 0 for 1 this year in stolen base attempts. The one time he got thrown out was a busted hit and run play.
Martin shortened up to bunt, and the ball was high. And Duhar, the third baseman, was way back at third.
Yeah, he's not
up again.
Yeah, he's not biting on that fake bunt right there by Russell. He knows that he's got to be swinging away to try and score that run from first.
Another breaking ball for strike 2. Germán's got a nice assortment of pitches, and we always talk about a starter. You need 3 pitches, and you need the ability to locate 3 pitches. We've seen that so far from Germán.
That's what he has, 3 pitches. Ryan Barucki, he has basically 3 pitches. Fastball, breaking ball, changeup. Same thing with Germán.
Just a bit low. Herman's first start of the season was an impressive outing. He went 6 innings against the Cleveland Indians. No hits. He walked 2 and struck out 9 against the Cleveland Indians. That was his first start.
Yeah, the pesky Cleveland Indians, those hitters.
There goes Smoke outside for ball 4. Russell Martin walks again. So 40th time he has walked this season. So that pushes Smoke into scoring position. Randall Grichuk. He struck out to end the second. Grichuk hit a home run against Severino yesterday in the 4th inning. A low screaming liner into the second deck. It was a hanging breaking ball on the inner half.
Chance to do some damage here. Be ready on that first one.
Breaking ball just a bit too high, according to the home plate umpire, John Lubka.
That's free and easy, 94.
Yeah.
Not a lot of effort. Again,
well, he had a good study yesterday in Severino on the mound, who started for him, and Severino didn't have his great stuff yesterday by any means. But he can really create a lot of velocity with a very solid delivery. Outside.
And again, a throw in from the Marlins. He and Nathan Eovaldi coming over to the Yankees a few years ago, along with another minor leaguer for David Phelps and Martin Prado.
Larry Rothschild, the longtime pitching coach in his 8th season with the Yankees. 2-1 to Grichuk. Laid off that breaking ball, then Romine will go to the mound.
Well, here's what Romine's thinking right now. Those last 2 pitches were pretty close pitches, and the Blue Jays took them like they knew something was coming. They knew it was coming. So Smoke's been out there. He's going to change up the signs now. 3-1. I still want to give him too much information.
Smoke is at second. Martin's at first. 3 balls and a strike to Grichuk. Outside. He laid off that pitch. Back-to-back walks with 2 outs here for the Blue Jays. That'll load the bases. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. hit a fly ball just shy of the warning track in left field back in the 3rd inning. Just didn't get full extension on it.
Just missed it. But he worked himself into a good hitter's count. Crossed him up, threw him a breaking ball, and he just missed it. We were talking about earlier about his at-bats. Have good at-bats. And he hasn't looked overmatched since he has come back from the minor leagues. Blue Jays are doing the right thing. They're going to be playing him a lot. See what they have here. Young player that needs to play at the big league level.
Couple of good fastballs. Now Gurriel has to bat. Oh, and 2. 2 outs. Bases loaded. Blue Jays are trailing 1-0. Good take. Breaking ball he laid off.
You know, in the minor leagues, you might see a guy with this kind of arm and this kind of stuff. He doesn't have the polish yet. He's in a nice groove now. But you might see, if you face 5 starters, you might see 2, maybe 3 guys like this. Here in the big leagues, every pitcher has got tremendous stuff.
Fly ball deep to right field. Stay fair ball. This ball is foul. Gurriel stayed on that outside pitch and gave it a ride down the right field foul line, but it sliced just out of play.
So it's a battle every time you go out there. 94-mile-an-hour fastball, breaking balls that can break your bat. I mean, it is a battle every time you step into that batter's box, and I think he's learning that. He can hit. He's got great mechanics at the plate.
One ball, 2 strikes. He strikes out. Breaking ball gets in. The Blue Jays will leave the bases loaded in the 4th. We'll go to the 5th. New York has a 1-0 lead. Now time for a Blue Jays Central Update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Joe Siddle in the Samsung broadcast studio. Farm reporting that they were going out to Vancouver to check in on the Canadians' young outfielder, Conine. Conine, just 20 years old, and he's got some power. Friday, he had a couple of home runs, one over 440 feet. He's got 4 homers, 16 RBIs in 15 games. He played in 1 game in the Gulf Coast League before they sent him to Vancouver, but he's a good-looking young power hitter.
And if that name sounds familiar, yes, it is the son of Jeff Conine, who played a long time in the big leagues. Griffin Conine's got some power. He was a first-round draft pick early on, but then there was some worries about, there were some strikeouts in there, but the Blue Jays stayed on him. They went and watched him in the Cape. They went and watched him in college. They said, this guy is one of the best power hitters available in the draft. Smooth swing from the left side. He can play all 3 outfield positions. We'll have to keep his name out in front. He could be a quick mover.
Austin Romine gets a leadoff single here in the 5th. For the Yankees, that's 6 hits now, but they've scored just 1 run. And Borucki, he's going to be one of those kind of guys. You know, he's going to be around the plate a lot. He's probably going to give up his fair share of hits, but he will never, ever lose his focus. He got a big double play in the 4th inning off the bat of Brandon Drury. Back to the top of the order, Brett Gardner is 0 for 2 so far. We mentioned that Gardner was one of 5 Yankees drafted by the Yankees to collect 1,000 or more hits. And it's an interesting list. I gave my partner a little test, and he answered the test very well. Of course, you grew up in the Yankee system.
Yeah, got drafted, played in the Yankee organization, actually played with one of those guys. Don Mattingly had to be on that list.
Thurman Munson, Don Mattingly, Derek Jeter, Jorge Posada, and Brett Gardner. are the only Yankees that were drafted by the Yankees and collected 1,000 hits as Yankees.
Yeah, so Babe Ruth doesn't count. That was before the draft.
Bernie Williams, everybody would say, what about Bernie Williams? But he was a non-drafted Yankee. Wow, Brett Gardner almost got hit by that pitch. It ran inside. He was trying to bunt it, and self-defense.
Pull the fingers out of the way. We saw Matt Adams break his finger on a play just like this. He pulls the back just in time. And some of the other Yankees, they came from other organizations. They weren't originally drafted by the New York Yankees. For years, they used the draft and the farm system to acquire veteran talent to help them win at the major league level. It wasn't until they started holding on to their great prospects that they started winning again as Biagini starts to loosen up. That great run that they had through the 90s and early 2000s brought on by a great farm system.
They have that phrase, the core four, which was actually 5 players. 1-2 in the air. Pilar retreating and makes a running catch. Gardner's retired. He's 0 for 3 so far. The core four for the Yankees: Jeter, Posada, Mariano Rivera, Andy Pettitte, and the guy they always forget about is Bernie Williams. Yeah. They all came up together and established that great run for the Yankees.
All brought up through that farm system, developed in their minor leagues, and brought up. And we could probably sit here and name some more that were Yankee minor leaguers in that era that were then traded to help out the rest of the team. Scott Brocious came from another team. Paul O'Neill came from the Cincinnati Reds for Roberto Kelly.
Tino Martinez.
He came from Seattle for Russ Davis.
Chuck Knobloch. I mean, the list goes on and on, where they brought in veteran players to complement that core four.
But they had a great system to acquire those guys.
Aaron Judge singled and scored the only run of this game. It was in the first inning. Yankees getting their first look at Ryan Borucki. They've scored a run on 6 hits so far through 4 1/3. 3-0 to Judge. Aaron Boone letting the home plate umpire hear it about that last strike. John Luca behind the plate this afternoon. He's probably not going to like that one either.
Yeah. Or maybe he wasn't listening to him. Said it wasn't borderline, it was down.
3-2, 1 out to Judge. Giancarlo Stanton is on deck. Off-speed pitch, pulled foul. Yesterday, the Yankees bench was getting on the home plate umpire, Lance Barrett. It was actually Aaron Boone who was doing most of the yapping, and CC Sabathia stood up and took the bullet for him. CC was thrown out of the game defending his manager.
That's right. He started getting on the umpire and he took the bullet and it just left. So that's the way it's supposed to be. I saved my manager from getting tossed.
Ball 4. Off the plate inside.
At the Honda Checkered Flag event, the real victory lap is the drive home.
Beautiful afternoon here in Toronto. Yankees and Blue Jays wrapping up this 3-game series. They have split the first 2 games, and the Yankees have a 1-0 lead. Pete Walker, the pitching coach, having a chat with Ryan Borucki.
Yeah, let's figure out Giancarlo Stanton, how we're going to pitch to him. He's already had a double and a single in this afternoon's game. Blue Jays are going to get charged with their first mound visit, but you've got a couple of runners on and got to make a pitch here to try and get the ball on the ground.
Stanton has doubled and singled in his 2 at-bats. Stanton's starting to get comfortable in a Yankee uniform. Over his last 19 games, he's hit .370. Care how many years you have played, there's always an adjustment period when you go to New York and play for the Yankees for the first time. Ground ball. Solarte to second for 1. Travis back to first in time. What a double play. They double up Giancarlo Stanton, and Ryan Borucki continues to pitch out of jams. Second double play he gets here this afternoon. Solarte to Travis to Smoke. Ends the inning and keeps it a 1-run game.
Game is back with more competition, more challenge, and more dingers than ever before. Enter the code ALLSTARDC to unlock exclusive All-Star gear at MLB.com/HRD game.
We move to the bottom of the 5th. It's a 1-0 Yankee lead. Ryan Borucki again continues to impress with the way he pitches out of tough situations. Gets the double play off the bat of Giancarlo Stanton,
who had a couple of hits against him in 2 at-bats, so he comes in, turns that fastball over, gets a ground ball double play.
Two balls and no strikes. Domingo Román has shut out the Blue Jays on just 3 hits to this point. Smoke has 2 of those 3 hits. It's the 3rd straight multi-hit game for Smoke. 6th time he's done that in his career. That's his career high, 3 straight games with multi-hits. Nice play by Bird. He stays with it. Germán is there, but he drops the ball. Good job by Travis to bust it out of the box. He made it close at first, put pressure on the pitcher. Bird knocked it down, dropped it, recovered, but Germán couldn't hold on to the throw.
And by Bird dropping that ball initially, it really messed up the timing of the play. You want to get that ball to the pitcher a couple of steps before he finds that bag. 1 hop smash, there's the time. That's where you want to give it to him there. But you can see the runner, the pitcher, and the ball all arrived at the same time. Tough for the pitcher to find the baseball and the bag at the same time.
It's an air charge to Bird, his first error of the season. This is his 30th game at first base. But it's so easy as a hitter to see that first baseman knock it down and just jog up the first baseline, but Travis didn't do that. Teoscar Hernandez is 1 for 2. It's a 1-0 game in the bottom of the 5th. This is the game we were supposed to have yesterday. Luis Severino and Jay Happ, the two #1s of these respective teams, and neither starter had their normal stuff.
Yeah, it took a lot of pitches to get through the first 3 innings. 166 pitches between the two of them to get through 3 innings.
Fly ball. Gardner, the center fielder, over, makes the catch. Hernandez is retired.
This 4K broadcast is brought to you by the Samsung QLED TV. See nothing else.
Final game of this homestand for the Blue Jays. They trail 1-0, trying to win this series against the Yankees. And Ever Solarte has grounded out and flied out. Solarte just turned 31 years old this month. He started his big league career with the Yankees, but he had a very difficult time finally making it to the big leagues. He originally signed with the Twins in 2005. Then he was a 6-year free agent, signed with the Texas Rangers. Still playing in the minor leagues. Little roller up the first baseline. Bird will go after it and step on the bag. Travis goes to second. So now here comes the red hot Justin Smoak with a runner in scoring position. This will be interesting to see how the Yankees pitch to Smoak.
Very interesting to see. That slow roller got Travis into scoring position. Smokey's 2 for 2 already, and he's looked very comfortable against Termon. Maybe a pitch around him. Take your chances with Morales, or maybe a pitch to Smoak.
He's 2 for 2, double and a single. And on the inside corner. Well, if you're a pitching coach and a manager and you have a young pitcher like Herman on the mound, you either walk him or tell him to go after him. You don't tell him to pitch around him because he doesn't have that kind of command.
Yeah, he's liable to make a mistake. And the Blue Jays can be in the lead very quickly.
Of course, you have Romine behind the plate, who's a very heady catcher, and he knows the situation. He's got Smoak, who's swinging on red hot bat.
When the old pitching coaches used to come out right here, and I'd sneak in from the first base and listen in. Okay, pitch him tough. You got to pitch to him, but don't give him anything good to hit. Get him out, but don't give him anything good to hit.
Didn't you love that?
Yeah.
Just to hear that. Don't let this guy hurt you.
Yeah, but don't give him anything to hit.
Hard hit ball, gloved by Bird. He underhands to first, and that'll do it. Smoak is retired for the first time this afternoon. Blue Jays have a runner in scoring position as we head to the 6th. update on some of the younger Blue Jays, and 3 of them are here with the Jays: Hernandez, Gurriel, and Borucki. All 25 or under. And then Danny Jansen, the catcher, AAA, he's going to the Futures game, and he'll play on Sunday before the All-Star game. Kevin Biggio's 23, having a great year in AA. Reed Foley, P.J. Zoik, and Nate Pearson. He's injured. Pearson's 21. Bichette is also going to the Futures game, but 3 of those 25 and under players are here on the field this afternoon.
You know what the Jays have done really well in the last few drafts is they found some position players, young position players, athletic position players, and then pitchers also with their second pick, or you flip-flop. You know, you might get a pitcher in the first round and then a position player in the second round. Their farm system has really jumped the last couple of years from the lower third to the upper third in baseball. Maybe 8th. I think they're ranked around 8th or 9th now in baseball. A couple more really good drafts, and now you're in the top 5. And what I really like about what you see down in the minor leagues, they're winning. You've got teams with really good records. They're winning. They're creating a winning atmosphere down in the minor leagues. All the while, they are producing players and developing players.
Third baseman Miguel Andujar strikes out. Just the second strikeout for Borucki.
Yeah, he got Romine earlier. Now he gets a pretty good hitter in Andujar. The Super Slow-Mo is brought to you by the Samsung S9 and S9 Plus. The camera reimagined. Available now. It's been a daunting task for Ryan Borucki. Some of the teams that he has faced his first 3 starts in the big leagues, he's been up to it.
You know what? These are the guys you're going to have to beat if you hope to stay in the big league. So why not get a taste of it right away? You know, to continue the discussion about the teams in the minor leagues, Bluefield, a rookie league team in the Appalachian League, is off to a 15-3 start. Dennis Holmberg, who is one of the longest serving minor league managers, has always done a great job with that level of player, and he's doing it again. D.D. Gregorius slaps it by the third baseman into left. Gregorius' first hit of the afternoon. That's 7 hits now for the Yankees.
Take that pitch. Lefty batter on a lefty hitter. Slap it by the third baseman. You know, there was a time in the Blue Jay organization where they would win at the lower levels, but they had older players. And they would win, and then they'd get to AA, and then they just didn't have the talent to get to that next level. Blue Jays now have a lot of young players winning at the lower levels, so that's a good sign.
The Lansing team in the Midwest League is 54-33, and they have a ton of young players. Their average age is 21.2, and that's exactly what you want. Young players learning how to win together. Clint Frazier goes after that fastball. Ball on the strike now. One out with Gregorius at first. Borucki has induced 2 double plays so far this afternoon. A third would get him out of the 6th. The pitching staff for Lansing at the Midwest League level, also averaging 22.3 years of age. So they've got younger players. They're winning together, and they're starting to learn how the Blue Jays want to develop their players. Cut on and missed. Frazier strikes out. Well, we have heard from the minor leaguers about Ryan Borucki, and we've seen it firsthand. He does not get intimidated, and he will not waver from his approach.
He'll throw a little bit tighter and a little bit bigger breaking ball like he does here with 2 strikes to go for it. That's where you want to throw it to a right-handed batter. Down and in.
Brandon Drury, the second baseman, makes the first pitch strike out on the inside corner. Drury has singled in, grounded into a double play. 7 hits for the Yankees, 6 have been singles. Borucki has now thrown 91 pitches, but he doesn't look fatigued at all. Fly ball to right, hit deep. Grichuk on the run, and he makes a nice running catch. Randall Grichuk got on his horse and ran it down just shy of a warning track in right field. Ryan Borucki, 6 solid innings in the book.
Trade rumors involving the Yankees last night after another uncharacteristic outing. Happ admitted that the uncertainty over the last couple of weeks subconsciously may have affected him, but he doesn't feel any differently. Quote, "I've been ready to pitch." He was asked about the appeal of potentially playing for a World Series contender, to which Happ responded that right now all he's focused on is playing for the Blue Jays. Happ said he's of course heard all the chatter, but you just never know what's true and what has any realistic chance of becoming true. He said, "I'm happy right where I am." His top priority, Buck, quote, "I'm going to try and flip the script as best I can. I don't think these last 2 starts are any indication of who I am and what I'm really capable of doing."
I don't think that is a indication of who Jay Happ is. I think he just had a couple of bad starts. And I don't think it really bothered him. I mean, he's such a pro, and he's been traded 3 times in the past during the trade deadline.
Yeah, whatever happens, he's going to come out on top. There's not a bad scenario for him. So I know it as a player, you hear that more so now than 10 years ago, 20 years ago.
Everything is on the internet. Everything is in social media. Every time somebody whispers, "Hey, maybe Jay Happ's going to the Cubs,"
yeah, you see
everybody jumps on it.
The radio, the TV, the internet, the everywhere. So as a player, you know what you have to do? Don't read.
No, it's all
don't turn it on. It's hard, but you can't keep listening to it.
Breaking ball in there, top of the strike zone. It's 2-2 to Morales. Well, years ago, there used to be what they called beat writers, and beat writers would travel with the GMs. They'd fly on team planes, so they had the inside scoop. Now there are so many outlets, and there are so many different podcasts and radio shows. Everybody is an expert on everything, and so you hear every kind of rumor possible.
You know what I liken it to? Remember that game when you were a kid called telephone, and this guy would tell you this and this guy would tell you that, and by the time it got back to you, the whole story was wrong.
Yeah,
and different.
That happens a lot now too, obviously.
And now there's so many outlets and so many airwaves catching everything. By the time it gets to out there, it's totally wrong.
Full count. Swinging a drive deep to right field. Stanton looking up. Get out of here, ball gone. Home run for Morales. That's home run number 200 for Kendrys Morales for his career. And it ties the game at 1-1.
Yeah, get that baseball. That's a milestone home run for Kendrys Morales. Told you he's been swinging the bat a lot better of late, driving the ball. Herman tried to sweep that fastball by him, sneak it by him, and he was still quick on the inner half with 2 strikes.
A milestone home run for Morales. And he has tied it up, his 10th of the season, his 200th of his career. Take a look at the most home runs all time by Cuban-born players: Palmeiro, Canseco, Tony Perez, Tony Oliva, and now Kendrys Morales.
You know, since the calendar slipped over to June the 1st, that's his 6th home run, getting him to that 200th. Those are some great home run hitters on that list. Herman tries to go fastball inside after he threw him a slow curveball on Kendrys. Extension and liftoff.
That has been a concern for Herman. That's the 14th home run he has surrendered this season. And it ties it up. High leg kick, good extension, and out of the ballpark.
He can time it up with that leg kick. Even though they throw him that fastball, it was a good fastball. He was quick. Fought it off and got it out of here.
Pilar pulls it foul. Fastball gets Pilar. 5 strikeouts for Herman. One out here in the bottom of the 6th.
This time the two-seamer is going to do it. He's got some movement still on that fastball.
You know, we saw that last replay, and watching the grip of Herman and the fingers extending on that baseball reminds me of Pedro Martinez. Remember how Pedro had those long fingers and really had great extension on his fingers, and that created a lot of late movement. Herman has that same type of movement. Of course, he doesn't have the finesse yet that we saw from Pedro, but watch the extension of those 2 fingers.
Yeah.
It really imparts a lot of great spin and movement.
Finish. Great finish on those pitches.
Remember when we saw Pedro in Montreal and he was explaining the benefits of having those long fingers, and they were so flexible. He said, that's the last part of my hand that touches the baseball, and that's where I got all that finish.
And then we had him hold the baseball and show us how to do it. It looked like a grape inside his fingers.
For a little guy, he had big hands, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Here's the 2-2 to Martin. Bounce up the third baseline. And Duhar was deep at third, and he's able to get Martin. Boy, that was a determined play by the third baseman, Miguel Andujar. He was deep at third.
He's got quick feet, a good arm. He ranks as a 70 on a scale of 20 to 80 on a scouting scale with a 70 arm. And he was showing it off there. He has to get rid of it. Quick hands, quick feet, and a strong arm. He's not even in your picture when Russell taps this ball up the line, but here he comes, gloves it, fires it just ahead of Martin at first base. Had a long way to go.
Herman gets a nice defensive play from his third baseman. 2 outs. Brando Grichuk. He struck out and walked in his 2 plate appearances so far this afternoon. One and 1 count to Grichuk. Just a bit off the plate, but he goes after it.
Yankees are going to reshift now, if you will. The second baseman, Drury, positioning himself on the other side of second base now with 2 strikes.
Yankees reliever Adam Warren is standing by. He appears to be ready in their bullpen. There's good movement on that fastball. That was the 99th pitch thrown by Herman. His season high is 104 back on the 28th of May against Houston. Brian Borucki in a tie game. Ground ball deep but short. Gregorius throws in time on the money to retire Grichuk and end the inning. But the Blue Jays get a leadoff home run here in the 6th. The veteran Kendrys Morales goes deep, his career home run number 200. It's a 1-1 game.
This month at Rogers Center. After the All-Star break, the Blue Jays welcome Manny Machado and the Baltimore Orioles to town. And then the Minnesota Twins close out this month's homestand with a 3-game series, July 23rd to the 25th. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
Lots of great games coming up second half of the season. Aaron Boone walking down to the end of the bench to shake hands with Domingo Herman. It's a 1-1 game. He's obviously out of the game for the Yankees. Brian Borucki's not. He comes back out to start the 7th inning.
Got a couple of left-handers scheduled to hit this inning, where John Gibbons likes to take it batter by batter. This late in the game, he's approaching 100 pitches. He likes to take it batter to batter. If he gets him out, he'll continue. If he doesn't, we might see a pitching change.
Biagini is up again, and should there be any trouble, I'm sure they'll have a quick hook with Borucki, but he's got a chance with the left-handed hitter Bird starting off the inning, and he gets him out. 1 away. 4 strikeouts for Borucki.
Yeah, 3 of them coming in the last 4 outs. Shows a better breaking ball here. This is the bigger one that he can throw when he's got 2 strikes. As he puts Bird down for the first out here in the 7th.
Austin Romine is 1 for 2. The catcher, number 9 hitter, Pete Walker, checking in with Biagini down in the bullpen. Romine singled his center his last time up. He was called out on strikes in the 2nd. This is a big out for Borucki right here. Get him out, and then you've got the lefty Gardner, and you got a chance to pitch 7 complete.
Yeah. And then maybe your team scores you a run, and then you can get the win.
Give you an idea of how impressive Borucki has been in his start this afternoon. The Yankees come into this game. This is the 6th left-hander they've faced in their last 9 games. And the Yankees have the best one-loss record against left-handed starters in baseball, 22-6. And Borucki's pitching in a 1-1 game in the 7th. The Yankees also lead the majors in OPS against left-handed pitching. But he has kept them to one extra base hit this afternoon. That was a first inning double by Giancarlo Stanton.
Yeah, there's been some base runners, but he's come up with big pitches, and that's what you and I have noticed about him. When he gets into trouble, he's able to find his way out by forgetting the previous at-bat, concentrating on the next one.
Changeup, foul tip, held on to by Martin. Back-to-back strikeouts here in the 7th.
And like Dane Johnson says, you got to stay one step ahead of the Yankees. He's done that. Changeup in a good spot. Great arm action on that one. Watch the arm come through like it's a fastball, and he puts it in a good spot.
2 down now. The left-handed batter, the leadoff man, Brett Gardner, is 0 for 3 against Borucki. Gets ahead of him.
The Yankees have all that power, and they've really shown it against left-handed pitching this year. They've hit 49 home runs against left-handed pitching coming into this game, and Borucki held him to one extra base hit. That was the double by Stanton in the first inning.
2-1. Fly ball deep to right and just barely fouled. Gardner has 18 home runs against the Blue Jays. That's the most he has hit against any club in his career, and he just missed another. But it's a long strike.
Yeah, over 500 at bats. It's been a long time. He's faced the Blue Jays for many seasons.
Third baseman Solarte has it. 7 in the book for Ryan Borucki. He walks off the mound in a 1-1 game, holding the Yankees to just 7 hits.
By Boston Pizza. Saturday, July 21st and Sunday, July 22nd. Join us pregame outside gates 5 and 10 for inflatables, activities, and lots of fun. Then watch your Blue Jays host the Baltimore Orioles. Both games 1:07 p.m. start times. And after the ball game, kids 14 and under can run the bases just like the pros. Visit BlueJays.com for tickets. Bye.
Thank you very much, Hazel. They have a pitching change for the Yankees. Domingo Germán has thrown 100 pitches. He's out of the game. He leaves, allowing just 1 run on 4 hits. The home run by Kendrys Morales. 14th home run Germán has surrendered this year, and he leaves in this tie game and turns things over to Adam Warren.
Impressive outing for the young Germán. He's going to turn it over now to the veteran Adam Warren, who was an original draft pick by the Yankees back in 2009. Spent some time with the Cubs, but now back with the Yankees. He was a starter in the minor leagues. He's basically pitched out of the bullpen since he's got to the big leagues. Fastball, slider you're going to get from the veteran.
Lourdes Gurriel 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Off the plate, 2-0. Warren with a long walk around the mound. This is his first appearance in this series. Gurriel fouls it into the seats. Gurriel understands his job here to get on base. 7th inning in a 1-run game, leading off. Bottom of the lineup, you got to get on base.
Yeah, hit would be great. An extra base hit would be even better, but you're right. Get on base. That pitcher in the stretch right away.
3-1, lays off the breaking ball. Sinwan, loosening up for the Blue Jays. Brian Borucki, boy, another 7-inning outing for Borucki. John Gibbons has to be pleased with his young lefty. Fly ball into the alley in right center, and that's going to get down and hits off the wall. Gurriel is headed for second. He'll get there with a slide. There's your leadoff hit.
Good hitters can hit the ball where it's pitched. You don't have to pull the ball to hit home runs or get base hits. Gurriel went right with that pitch. Didn't try and overpower it, just stayed right with it, inside out swing, and he drives it off the base of the wall in right field. This is why I think he's going to be a really good hitter. The ability to go the other way for extra bases.
Devin Travis, the Yankees are looking for the bunt. Travis not showing bunt, fouls it back. The Blue Jays have just 2 bunts all season, 2 sacrifices. Curtis Granderson has 1. Richard Urania has the other. That's it.
Okay, now if you're the runner at second base, you're anticipating him hitting the ball to the right side of the infield, but be careful on that smash to the first baseman. If he hits it right at the first baseman and you go, you're going to be out. Backing up now with 2 strikes. It's all about reading the ball off the bat.
Travis advanced the runner on Friday night in the 8th inning after Diaz had a leadoff double. That would lead to the 6th run for the Blue Jays, an insurance run in the 8th. Teoscar Hernandez drove in Diaz, who started the inning with that leadoff double. Travis strikes out. 1 away. Time now for a look at Skyscraper, starring Dwayne Johnson.
Skyscraper, in theaters and Real D 3D July 13th.
Go back to the top of the order. Teoscar Hernandez is 1 for 3. He singled to left field in the 3rd inning. Oh, he got a hanging breaking ball and found it back to the screen.
Looked like Warren was trying to elevate that fastball to Devin Travis, trying to get him to swing at it, and Devin did, and now he elevated a breaking ball. Teoscar's done a good job this year driving in runs.
He has 35 RBIs for the season.
He's hit, for the most part, the upper parts of the strike zone where you don't have a lot of opportunities to drive in runs. He's come up with some big base hits, some big home runs.
Ball on the strike to Hernandez. Off the plate, a close one, but it's outside. Blue Jays have a run on 5 hits. The Yankees have a run on 7 hits. Blue Jays have hit the only home run. That was a game-tying home run by Morales in the 6th. Tried to check his swing and went too far. Ryan Borucki, 7 innings against the New York Yankees.
Let's get him a run. Get him a run, hold on, get his first big league win.
Lays off that breaking ball. And Ever Solarte is on deck. I don't think they're going to really challenge Hernandez here. Probably get him to chase something off the plate.
Everything has been away. Fastballs and breaking balls away.
He strikes out. Second strikeout of the inning for Warren. So after he gave up the leadoff double to Gurriel, he strikes out Travis. Now he strikes out Hernandez.
Another elevated breaking ball. That one stays up. Teoscar can't get it.
Solarte is 0 for 3. The go-ahead run at second.
Got to figure Solarte is going to get something to hit. He leads the team in RBIs with 48. You've got Smoke on deck. There's Smokey swinging a hot bat. He's got a couple of hits today, so you got to figure they're going to pitch to Solarte.
2 balls and no strikes. Here's where Solarte really has to keyhole. Selective. He leads the team in RBIs with 48. Another RBI here would put Borucki in line for his first big league win. Didn't want to swing at that pitch.
No.
Borderline breaking ball.
Yeah, and you said it, keyhole him. So you're looking for a certain pitch in a certain area, the pitch that you feel most comfortable with, and if it's not there, go ahead and take it. Backdoor breaking ball wasn't to his liking.
That's popped into the seats. Ryan Borucki with 5 strikeouts this afternoon now has 16 strikeouts through his first 3 major league start. That ties with Mark Sepchinski for the second most by a Blue Jay pitcher in their first major league starts. Jerry Garvin has the record, 18 strikeouts in his first 3 games in 1977. Garvin got those 18 strikeouts in the inaugural season in '77. Sepchinski recorded his 16 strikeouts in 2009. And now Borucki has 16 strikeouts through his first 3 major league starts. That ties him with Sepchinski.
I wonder if they face teams like Houston, Detroit, and New York. That's what's impressive to me. Some really good hitting teams.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Solarte. He checks his swing and fouls it on. Well, he's battling. He stays alive, gets a piece of that breaking ball. The Yankees outfielders, they're awfully deep. You look around the outfield, especially Gardner in center, he's really deep. Gardner normally plays left field. He's making his 19th start in center field. He has 4 outfield assists. Their best arm in the outfield is on the bench today. Aaron Judge has 7 outfield assists. Stanton is starting in right field for the 16th time this season.
Yeah, you bet. Luis Rivera's picked up on that at third base.
Popped up on the infield. Bird, the first baseman, calls for it, and that'll end the inning. The Blue Jays leave the go-ahead run in scoring position. We played 7 innings. It's a 1-1 game. Judge, Stanton, and Duhar. And O will come in to start the top of the 8th. Career doesn't speak English. He needs an interpreter, and he's got to go over things with Russ Martin. But it appeared as though the umpire said you can't be out on the mound. Well, what's the purpose of having an interpreter then, if he can't come out and help the pitcher understand what the catcher wants to do?
Wasn't there a misunderstanding the other day about this? Something about the manager can't be out there with the interpreter or something?
Yeah.
Something like that.
When the manager leaves, they're supposed to take the interpreter with them, and now we believe that Tim Leeper may have been thrown out of the game. Bill Wilkie is the crew chief. Now, and this is uniform, believe me. We have seen Tanaka and his interpreter when there's a visit to the mound. Tanaka's interpreter, Shinjo Hori, for the Yankees, will go to the mound with the pitching coach. But see, Leeper is incensed by something, and I believe it has to do with the presence of the interpreter.
Yeah, and Gibby never went out there. The pitching change was made in between the inning. And I don't know if they're saying Russell Martin couldn't be out there. I'm not sure.
Well, the catcher has to go to the mound when you bring a pitcher into the game. And when you bring a non-English speaking pitcher, you have the right to have an interpreter. Now, Bill Wilkie, the crew chief, said something to Russell Martin. But Russell's like, you know what? I can speak French and I can speak English, but I can't speak South Korean. Wow. This umpiring crew has not had a good series.
No.
So it'll be Judge leading things off against O. over the shortstop for a leadoff base hit. Judge hits one off the end of the bat and hits it into left field. Tim Lever, the first base coach, has been ejected, and he's frustrated by what has gone on in this half inning. And he has been thrown out of the game.
They were explaining that to us, or telling us about that. It didn't make any sense the other day.
Ground ball. This could be a double play. Gurriel to second for one. Back to first. It is a double play. Lourdes Gurriel did a terrific job of throwing it back against his body, and he threw a strike to second to Devin Travis.
Second time that they've gotten Stanton to hit into a 5-4-3 double play. 6-4-3 is it right to the shortstop. He charges it, and watch, throwing across his body to get it to Travis, and Travis hanging in there to get that double play. He got to throw over a big base runner coming down into him.
That's the third double play the Blue Jays have turned this afternoon. And it came at a big time. Big part of the order. Judge had the leadoff single, and Stanton bounces into the double play. 2 outs now, nobody on for the rookie Miguel Andujar. And Duhart has driven in the only Yankee run of the day with a ground out way back in the first. Oh, ahead 0-2. Certainly doesn't have to throw a strike now. And Duhart has shown that he's going to swing.
They've had success this series elevating the fastball with 2 strikes. There's Chad Green starting to get loose. They've also been able to expose sliders off the plate. Looks like they're going to go up high with the fastball. He pitched 1 time in this series, just 2/3 of an inning, struck out a batter.
Fly ball to left. Hernandez coming in. That'll do it. The Yankees get a leadoff single. Oh, out of the 8th to go to the bottom of the 8th. It's a 1-1 game. Now time for Blue Jays Central Update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Kevin Barker in the Samsung broadcast. Blue Jays have an off day tomorrow, but the Yankees don't. They'll play a doubleheader in Baltimore against the Orioles, and you will be watching Game 2 tomorrow. It all starts at 7 p.m. Eastern. That's 4 p.m. Pacific right here on Sports Network. So make sure you check that out. It'll be a doubleheader. The Yankees will be in Baltimore to take on the Orioles. What a game. 1-1 ball game in the bottom of the 8th. Tim Leeper has been thrown out of this game, and Mike Mordecai takes over as the coach at first base. First pitch breaking ball in there for a strike. Smoke is 2 for 3 so far. He has 2 of the 5 Blue Jay hits. He's had 6 hits in this series.
Golden opportunity last inning for the Blue Jays leadoff double. They couldn't get him around. Smoke now has a chance to get him off to a good start.
Smoke has hit .363 against the Yankees this season. Smokey had a home run against Sonny Gray in the second inning on Friday night, part of that 5-run second inning. Swing and a drive. Stay fair, ball. Stay fair. Get out of here. Just foul. Boy, he put a charge in that one.
Breaking ball on the inner half, and I'm telling you, he's seeing the ball. He's really seeing the ball right now, and you make a mistake, and he's going to hit it a long way. Just out in front a little bit. You can see that ball crossed in front of the foul pole, and Gibby, he knows it's foul.
3-2 now. Morales is on deck. Chopper up the first baseline. Bird will go to the bag and retires Smoke. 1 out. Drive of the game brought to you by the Honda Checkered Flag event. Check out their all-star lineup.
Leading off the 6th inning, 1-0 score with 1 swing of the bat. We are all tied. This is a milestone home run for Kendrys Morales. It's his 200th career home run. Estimated at 373 feet, enough to get this game tied. It's also this afternoon's drive of the game. Congratulations to Kendrys Morales.
Becomes the 5th Cuban-born player with 200 career hits in the big leagues, 200 career home runs, 10 home runs on the season. For Morales, that home run was also his 20th home run here at Rogers Center. His 12th career home run against the Yankees.
Outfield very deep now, trying to cut off any ball. Either down the line or in the gaps. Nothing over your heads, no doubles. Morales is thinking about hitting a double.
Morales had a 2-home run game on May 1st against the Twins. Breaking ball is not close. It's a full count. Kevin Pillar waits on deck. Base hit to left field. Frazier over to cut it off. Morales with his 2nd hit of the game.
Beauty Tone is the official paint of the Toronto Blue Jays, only available at Home Hardware. Here's how.
One game as Morales picks up a one-out single, and he gives way to the pinch runner, Ledmus Diaz. A two-hit afternoon for Morales. Diaz takes over at first. Kevin Pillar, the batter. Kevin is 0 for 3. Pillar's 1 for 7 facing Adam Warren. They took a long look at Louis Rivera. There goes the runner, and they pick him up. Go to second, he'll be tagged out easily. So the Yankees sniffed out the hit and run. Diaz broke on the first move, but the throw was to first base.
Long look by Pillar, so you got to figure something up. If you're the runner, you got to make sure he goes home. And he's an easy out at second base.
Drury takes the throw from Bird.
Yankees knew something was up.
So Pillar now a 2-0 count. Three and 0. Nothing close. Russell Martin is on deck. Now it's 3 and 1. Breaking ball, tough spot, down and away.
Yeah, Kevin had a home run swing. Homered in yesterday's game. He was looking to go back-to-back games for a home run.
Fouls that breaking ball into the seats, out of play. And a more in relief of Domingo Germán, who went 6 innings. Pillar strikes out. That'll end the inning. So we will go to the 9th inning. This is the rubber match of this 3-game series, and it's a 1-1 game. like you. Redeem your WestJet dollars to over 450 partner destinations around the globe. Join today at westjet.com/rewards. A 1-1 game into the ninth. Both starters were good, and Ryan Borucki, second straight time he's gone 7 innings. Pat, once again, he was money today for the Blue Jays.
Scratched out a run against him in that first inning, then zeros the rest of the way. Just 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. A very good first start against the Yankees in his career.
D.D. Gregorius is 1 for 3 this afternoon. Sunwon Oh came into the ballgame and had a good 8th inning. Popped up and playable. Smoked the first baseman battling the sun. Gets there and makes the catch in foul territory.
Blue Jays have been at home. It's been a long homestand for them. 4 against Detroit, 2 against the Mets, and now 3 against the Yankees. And the relief corps has been outstanding this whole homestand. They've had the lowest earned run average, relief earned run average, since they started this homestand. That in baseball. ERA just over 2.
Clint Frazier, the left fielder, is 0 for 2 with a walk. Lefty Aaron Loop starting to loosen up. Greg Bird is his focus. He's 3 hitters away. Ball and a strike, 1 out. We're in the 9th inning. The Yankees have won 8 of the first 12 games these teams have played. This will be the last time they're at Rogers Center this year. The Yankees are just 1-6-2 in their last 9 series here at Rogers Center. Blue Jays have played them tough in this ballpark. Last year, the Yankees went 9-10 against the Blue Jays. They were 4-6 here at Rogers Center. The appeal down to first, denied by the Crucci Bill Walke.
Sharp curveball, and Frazier's able to hold up on it. O has been fabulous over the last month, if you've been paying attention. It looked like it could have been called a strike. His last 15 appearances, he's only given up 2 earned runs.
Frazier strikes out, 2 away. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. Kendrys Morales with a game-tying home run in the 6th, and that's where we are now, 1-1 in the 9th. Brandon Drury, he's gone 1 for 3 so far this afternoon. Drury has just 40 at-bats this season with the Yankees. He was the opening day 3rd baseman in the first series of the season here at Rogers Center, and then had migraine issues, had to go on a disabled list, and he missed a lot of time.
Migraine issues and some headaches and some dizziness, and showed some power the other way in that short series to begin the season. O's thrown with a lot of confidence right now.
Three and 1 now. David Robertson on the left, Chad Green on the right. Green appears to be ready. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Popped him up. Russell Martin back toward the Blue Jays dugout. He will get there and make the catch. Drury's retired. Another good inning by O. We will go to the bottom of the ninth. It's a 1-1 game. Russ Martin will lead things off for the Blue Jays. Then Grichuk and Gurriel.
Jays on Sportsnet. Presented by Honda. The Honda Checkered Flag event is back. Hurry in to grab the Civic that matches your game.
The Blue Jays will have an off day on Monday, and they'll pick things up on Tuesday down in Atlanta against the Braves. Marcus Stroman will go to the hill for the Blue Jays. It all starts at 7 Eastern time. That's the pregame show on Pacific time on Tuesday, as the Blue Jays have a short 2-game series against the Braves. Julio Teheran will open up for Atlanta. New pitcher into the ball game is Chad Green, the hard-throwing right-hander.
Yeah, 33 games for Green. He's 4-1 with an ERA sub-2. Part of that bullpen that leads the American League in strikeouts per 9 inning. They allow the fewest hits per 9 innings. Got a good fastball. Very deceptive delivery. He hasn't allowed a run in his last 12 games.
Russell Martin is 0 for 2 with a walk. Fouls that one straight back. Pop-up into shallow center field. Gardner, the center fielder, calling for it. One away.
There is Green. He combined with Dylan Betances last year. They each had 100 strikeouts. Big fastball. He can cut the ball if he needs to. But it's a bullpen the Yankees have out there that they've got a lot of big arms.
Curtis Granderson has been the most frequently used pinch hitter for the Blue Jays. He is standing by ready. '98, 0-2. Randall Grichuk has one walk-off career home run. That was against Adam Warren when Warren was with the Cubs.
He can turn around a fastball. He turned around a big fastball yesterday from Severino.
Foul tip
Right
off the
there.
net.
Severino has a big fastball. He tried to throw a slider by him, and it stayed over the middle of the plate, and Randall, look how quick he gets to it. on a line into the second deck down the left field line. That's his 11th home run of the season. Would love to do it again right here.
2-2 now. For the Yankees, they got a lot of firepower down in that bullpen. Severino, the starter yesterday, picked up his 14th win. Green with a strikeout. Just using that hard fastball.
Elevating at that time against Randall Grichuk. Second time that Randall struck out. There's a high fastball. It gets on you quick. Impressive stuff from Chad Green. He was acquired from Detroit for Justin Wilson, another hard throwing lefty.
Lourdes Gurriel Jr. had a leadoff double in the 7th inning, but he never moved beyond second. He was stranded. Travis struck out, Hernandez struck out, and Solarte popped out. He pops this one up. Right fielder Stanton gets there, and we will go to the 10th. The Blue Jays are 8-2 in extra innings. The Yankees are 4-4. It's a 1-1 game. We're headed to extras. Oh, did a good job going 2 strong innings, allowing just 1 single. Clippard making his 45th appearance of the season. We mentioned the Blue Jays, they're 8-2 in extra innings, while the Yankees are just 4-4. This is the rubber match of this 3-game series. Each team has won a game so far.
A former Yankee is going to be pitching against his team for the 2nd time in this series. Through an inning, 16 pitches here on Friday. Clippard features a very good changeup and a splitter. Got to shut him down.
It'll be 8-9-1 for the Yankees. Greg Bird, Austin Romine, and Brett Gardner. The Yankees will play a doubleheader tomorrow night in Baltimore. They play 4 games in 3 days against the Orioles, and then they will go into Cleveland and play the Indians to wrap up their first half of the season. Be on the road for 11 straight games to wrap up before the All-Star break. One ball, one strike to Greg Bird. Strike 2.
That is a tough combination. Changeup and then fastball. Just 91 miles an hour, but after those slow change-ups, it just freezes you at the plate. Mix in a splitter. That might have been it right there. I mean, he's got some things to get you out with. This is the first time that Greg Bird has faced Tyler Clippard.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. Hit him right on that elbow pad. And you can see Clippard say, man, he's got to try to get out of the way. He just stuck that elbow pad out over the plate and got hit by a pitch.
You see that more and more, don't you, now in baseball? You don't pull back. You got the elbow pad right there. Just take it off the pad and go to first base. That'll bring out a pinch runner.
So Bird is out of the game. Tyler Wade will come on at first base as a pinch runner. Wade was into the game yesterday as a defensive replacement. Bird finishes up 1 for 3. Austin Romine, the catcher, squares to bunt. Bunts it up the first baseline. Smoke will tag out Romine. So the sacrifice bunt executed to perfection. That pushes the pinch runner Wade to second.
Yeah, you got to stay out of the double play. You got the right batter at the plate to sacrifice with. Number 9 hitter. You sacrifice, you push the ball to the right side of the infield. Now you got 2 shots to try and drive him in.
So Tyler Clippard will face Brett Gardner. Gardner is 0 for 4 this afternoon. He had a home run and a 2-run triple in the game yesterday. A couple of hits on Friday night, but he's been given the collar so far today. Fastball for strike 1. Clippard and Martin doing a good job of keeping the Yankee hitters off stride.
Yeah, guessing. You know, when you're looking for that changeup, cross them up and throw the fastball. Like Gardner was taking that one all the way, and it was a fastball right there. You can use that changeup off of the fastball now if you want to.
Martin's offering a couple of different selections, and Clippard didn't want either one of those pitches, so let's start over. Still hasn't gotten the right one. Now he's got it.
Gardner can spray the ball all over the field. This is where he hits it on the ground. And the Blue Jays have this type of information, so they will set their defense accordingly. You can see the 37s and the 32s. That's Gurriel and Travis. That's where it says he hits a lot of balls on the ground. So they will give him the hole between third base and shortstop.
He hits balls there just 16% of the time. Base hit to left field. Wade got a good read. He's coming in to score, and he'll beat the throw, and Gardner will end up at second. So Brett Gardner with his first hit of the day. It's an RBI single to left. And the Yankees have a 2-1 lead. So the sacrifice proves to be effective for New York.
That's why you do it. You turn the lineup over, and you've got your best hitters hitting with runners in scoring position. It wasn't hit that hard by Gardner. Wade got a really good read and a good break. Teoscar came up throwing, caught it on one bounce. He had to wait for the high bounce, and that allowed Wade to score from second base. Watch the bounce. He's got to go up. Now he's got to set his feet. It's too long then. And that allows Gardner to get to second base.
Aaron Judge is 2 for 3 this afternoon. He's got a couple of singles. That's going to be out of play over the Yankees dugout. The home run that Judge hit against Clippard was in New York on the 19th of April. The Yankees were ahead at the time, 3-2. It was in the bottom of the 7th inning. He had a 3-2 pitch out of the ballpark down the left field line. Strike 2.
You mentioned about trying to keep him guessing. Well, he's guessed wrong on the first 2 pitches from Tyler Clippard. He was way out in front on that changeup on the first pitch. He was looking for it again. They slipped the fastball by him.
Judge strikes out. Clippard elevates that fastball and gets the strikeout.
The sequence there to get a very tough hitter, elevate it. Maybe he'll offer at it. He does. He comes up empty.
Giancarlo Stanton had a couple of hits in his first 2 plate appearances and then hit into double plays in the 5th and the 8th. Oh, got him to bounce into a double play after Judge had hit a leadoff single. That was in the 8th inning. He hit into an inning-ending double play in the 5th.
Show you the kind of confidence that they have in the on-deck hitter. These are the best hitters for the Yankees, I think. Judge and Stanton, the most dangerous. They got a rookie hitting behind them. I mean, a lot of times you'll say, okay, I'd rather face the rookie. Give me a chance, pitch around the power hitters, and I'll pitch to the rookie. But Aaron Boone shows a lot of confidence in Miguel Andujar.
Andujar has 38 ribbies. Added to that today, he's got 39. Stanton didn't want to swing. Reminded himself to make that ball get down. He tried to cut his swing down. He too has a home run against Clippard, but he's also struck out 11 times. The Yankees have scored a run here in the 10th. Brett Gardner with an RBI single to left.
That home run off of Tyler Clippard was on opening day. Right here in the 9th inning with a couple of outs.
David Robertson ready for the Yankees. Remember, Aroldis Chapman pitched in the game yesterday, faced one batter but left. He's dealing with tendonitis in his left knee. He struck out the only batter he faced, Randall Grichuk, and then was out of the game, so he appears to be not available today. Checked his swing on a breaking ball. Full count. Well, you're really tempted to just go ahead and put Stanton on base because of Andujar and the way he swings. He's a free swinger.
Yeah, just keep throwing those off-speed pitches out of the strike zone, and maybe Stanton will get himself out. If you end up walking him, it's all right. You got first base open anyway. I trust a guy like Tyler Clippard to make the pitch. He's a veteran. He's been around a long time. He understands what he's doing out there. He's been in these types of situations before.
Another 3-2 pitch to Stanton. Gardner at second base. Popped him up. Clippard is appearing in his 670th Major League game. As Pat mentioned, he's spent parts of 2 seasons with the Yankees. Last year, he appeared in 40 games in New York. He was 1-5. He started his career way back in 2007 as a 22-year-old pitching for the Yankees. They got him to swing and miss. Stanton will be out on strikes as Russell Martin holds on to the ball. That'll end the inning, but the Yankees score a run. Brett Gardner with an RBI single. They take a 2-1 lead into the bottom of the 10th. Travis Hernandez and Solarte will bat for the Jays. David Robertson. It'll be his 40th appearance of the season. Robertson has been a closer in the past. Well, this Chapman not available today, so Robertson will try to close it out.
Yeah, he had 3 straight seasons of at least 30 saves, 1 with the Yankees, 2 with the White Sox. He's 5-3 this season, 343 earned run average. Nice little cutting action on that fastball and a curveball. So Robertson in for the save today. Another defensive change for the Yankees.
Neil Walker takes over at first base. Great Bird was lifted. Tyler Wade stays in the game as he is playing in left field. Wade is at second base. Walker is at first base. Curtis Granderson, the pinch hitter, called for a swing. It's quickly 0-2. Breaking ball, he swings and misses. Ball in the dirt, throw to first to complete the strikeout. 1 away.
He's got a very good breaking ball. Again, part of that bullpen that has the best strikeout to innings pitched in baseball. Hard curveball down and in, smothered by Romine, and he records the out over at first.
Teoscar Hernandez, the leadoff man, has gone 1 for 4. He struck out his last time up. One and one now. The Yankees outfield playing very deep, playing in no double situation. Robertson has two distinct breaking balls, a hard curveball, and then Pat mentioned the great cutter that he's developed.
It's a natural cutting action on that fastball. I'm sure he was taught that by Mariano Rivera, who was in the pen at the time when he first came up. And then that hard overhand curveball. Teoscar has faced him in the past. He's faced him 4 times. He's had a couple of hits against him. Got to make him get that breaking ball over.
Two balls and 2 strikes. Now it's a full count. Now Nervis Solarte is on deck. And then Smoke. Full count to Hernandez. Breaking ball hit to left, but that's going to hook into the seats. He stayed on that breaking ball, but hit it off the end of the bat.
He should be getting the timing down to that. That's all they're featuring so far in this at bat. A lot of off-speed pitches off the plate.
Tyler Clippard hit the first batter he faced in the 10th, Greg Bird, and the pinch runner for Bird came around to score. Ground ball up the middle. Drury from the outfield, strong arm throws him out. Wade, excuse me, as he's come into the game defensively. So Tyler Wade throws to first, 2 outs.
The play by the second baseman just into the game. He was the pinch runner who scored the run to put him off, and now Aaron Boone elects to keep him in a little tricky hop right at the end there, but he picks it, throws a strike over to first base, 2 down.
So Nervis Solarte, the Blue Jays' last hope. Keep the inning going. Solarte for his career is 0 for 3 against Robertson. Robertson threw him that first pitch cutter, and Solarte took a mighty cut.
Yeah, I think you're going to see the cutters early on, and then they're going to try and finish him off with that curveball. If you're Solarte, make him get that ball up. That curveball, he's going to try and bury it right at your feet.
Fly ball to left. This should do it. Frazier waiting and makes the catch, and that's the ball game. David Robertson gets out of the bottom of the 10th. Robertson picks up his second save of the season. Brett Gardner with a game-winning RBI. An RBI single in the 10th.
You know, I think we see why the Yankees have put together such a great record so far. It's not just the superstars that do it. It's the guys, the unsung heroes, if you will. Herman today, the starting pitcher, was very good for the Yankees. 6 innings, just 1 earned run driven in. The run driven in by Andujar, the first one, the young kid, and then Gardner, the veteran. They got a lot more than just those home run hitters in the middle of their lineup.
So the Yankees win the series. The Blue Jays will have an off day on Monday. We'll see you again Tuesday night. Thanks for watching, folks. Stay tuned. Here's Blue Jays Central. Jamie, Joe, and Kevin.